Have you ever stopped to think about what faith really is? For many, it's just a religious matter. But what if I told you that faith goes far beyond that, that it can be a universal force present in everything we do? Today, we're going to unravel the essence of faith and discover how it can be the driving force behind our actions, dreams, and achievements. When we talk about faith, we're not limiting it to something that happens only in churches, temples, or rituals. Faith is a powerful mental state, a harmonious interaction between the conscious and subconscious mind. Think of it like a conductor leading an orchestra. The conscious mind gives the commands, while the subconscious transforms those commands into music, or in our case, into actions and results. Joseph Murphy, in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, describes this interaction as the key to accessing an unlimited power within us. It's like planting a seed in fertile soil. The conscious mind chooses the seed, what we believe in, and the subconscious nurtures and makes it grow, turning beliefs into reality. Without faith, this cycle simply doesn't happen. Faith is more than an abstract idea. It is a natural law that governs life. Just like gravity, it operates impartially, regardless of religion, culture, or context. Stephen Covey, in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, talks about the importance of aligning our lives with universal principles like integrity and responsibility. Faith is exactly that, an eternal principle that we can apply in any area of our existence. Think of faith as a river that flows constantly. You can ignore it, fight against it, or choose to navigate it wisely. When you align yourself with this flow, faith becomes the rudder that guides your decisions, even in the most uncertain moments. Now let's clarify something important. Faith and values are not the same thing. Values are the internal beliefs that guide our behavior, a kind of personal manual on how to live. Faith, on the other hand, is the fuel that drives us to act in accordance with those values. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, described how prisoners in concentration camps found the strength to survive because they had faith in something greater, whether a purpose, a loved one, or a deep value. It is faith that connects these values to our daily lives, turning them into real actions. Imagine your values as a car parked in a garage. They may be beautiful and powerful, but without fuel, they won't take you anywhere. Faith is that fuel that gets the engine running and moves you forward. Faith is more than just believing. It is a practical, universal force deeply connected to our values. It is what transforms ideas into reality, dreams into action. And the best part? It is available to everyone, no matter who you are or where you come from. In the next step, we will start debunking some of the myths about faith that often prevent us from seeing its true potential. Are you ready for this journey? Then leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep going. In the previous topic, we explored the essence of faith as a powerful mental state that connects the conscious and subconscious mind. But for faith to truly work, we must first understand what it is not. Now let's dismantle common myths about faith and reveal how it is much closer to practice and reason than you might think. Many people associate faith with the idea of believing without question, what some call blind faith. But true faith is not based on ignorance or gullibility. On the contrary, it is built upon solid principles and experiences accumulated over a lifetime. Think of a traveler crossing a bridge. He doesn't trust the bridge just because he believes in it. He knows that solid pillars are holding it up. Likewise, genuine faith is supported by a foundation, whether it be personal experience, logic, or proven results. Deepak Chopra, in Science and Spirituality, argues that faith should be a harmony between reason and intuition. It is a conscious trust, not a blind leap into the unknown. Another myth we need to dismantle is the confusion between faith and magical thinking. Faith is not about sitting back and waiting for something to happen just because you believe in it. Imagine you want to grow a vegetable garden. Having faith means believing that it will bear fruit, but it also requires you to prepare the soil, plant the seeds, and nurture them every day. Joseph Murphy, in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, explains that the subconscious responds to consistent effort and concrete actions. Faith without action is like buying seeds and leaving them in the package, expecting them to bloom on their own. True faith is dynamic. It demands movement, persistence, and continuous work. For faith to work, it needs to be aligned with your mindset. Carol Dweck, in Mindset, the New Psychology of Success, shows us that a growth mindset is essential for believing that we are capable of developing our skills and overcoming challenges. Imagine two people facing the same problem. The first, with a fixed mindset, thinks, "I can't do this." The second, with a growth mindset, sees the challenge as an opportunity to learn, saying, "I don't know how to do this yet, but I'll figure it out." Authentic faith is always connected to this second approach, believing that we can learn, grow, and transform. Faith is neither blind nor magical, nor static. It is practical, well-founded, and dependent on a mindset that believes in progress. When we understand this, faith stops being an abstract concept and becomes a real force that guides our actions. In the next topic, we will explore how faith manifests in different forms, whether in belief in a higher power in ourselves, in others, or in the future. Because faith, when properly directed, is what connects us to what truly matters. In the previous topics, we explored how faith is a practical and well-founded force that connects us to our values and guides our actions. But faith is not singular. It manifests in various forms, adapting to each person's circumstances and needs. Let's examine the main types of faith and how they shape our journey. Religious faith is perhaps the most widely recognized, representing a belief in a higher power that guides and protects. However, it is not just about doctrines, it is about finding meaning and strength in something greater than ourselves. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, observed that prisoners in concentration camps who maintained faith in God, in a purpose, or in a life beyond their suffering showed greater resilience in facing adversity. Now, imagine the opposite. Those who lost their faith were consumed by fear and hopelessness. Religious faith, therefore, becomes a pillar in times of uncertainty, providing meaning amidst chaos. As the Apostle Paul said, "For we live by faith, not by sight." 2 Corinthians 5:7. While religious faith connects us to something greater, faith in oneself connects us to our own potential. It is the belief that we are capable of overcoming challenges and achieving goals, even when circumstances seem unfavorable. Carol Dweck, in Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, emphasizes that believing in our ability to learn and grow is essential for personal fulfillment. Think of a mountaineer climbing a mountain. He doesn't know exactly what the summit will look like, but he trusts in his ability to take the next step. This self-faith is what drives us forward, even in the face of doubt and fear. None of us exist in isolation. Faith in others, trusting in the goodness and capabilities of those around us, is fundamental for building strong connections and achieving collective goals. Brené Brown, in The Gifts of Imperfection, reminds us that trusting others requires vulnerability, but it is this openness that strengthens relationships. Imagine a team working together. Without mutual trust, individual efforts do not align, and progress is limited. Faith in others is what transforms a group into a team, capable of achieving extraordinary results. Finally, we have faith in the future, the belief that despite difficulties, tomorrow holds positive possibilities. This hope allows us to plan, take action, and trust that our choices today will shape a better destiny. Deepak Chopra, in Science and Spirituality, describes the future as a field of infinite possibilities, where our intentions and actions play a crucial role. Cultivating this faith is like planting a tree. You don't see the fruits immediately, but you trust they will come with time and care. Religious faith, self-faith, faith in others, and faith in the future are like different faces of the same coin. Together, they give us strength, purpose, and connection, allowing us to face challenges with courage and resilience. Now that we understand the various manifestations of faith, in the next topic, we will discover how to build the pillars that make this faith unshakable, even in the face of life's greatest adversities. Now that we understand how faith manifests in different forms, it's time to discuss what sustains this force. Just as a building relies on solid pillars to stand tall, faith also needs strong, well-defined foundations. These pillars not only provide stability, but also make faith unshakable, even in life's harshest storms. The first pillar is connection with your values. But what are values? They are the core beliefs that define who you are and how you live. Without this connection, faith can become vague and directionless. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, observed that prisoners who found the strength to survive in concentration camps were those deeply connected to values like love, hope, or a greater purpose. When you know what truly matters to you, your family, integrity, freedom, for example, faith becomes a natural reflection of these values, a driving force that propels you forward. Think of values as the roots of a tree. The deeper and stronger they are, the more the tree can withstand storms. That's why taking the time to identify and align yourself with your values is essential for strengthening your faith. The second pillar is purpose. Having a clear purpose in life is like having a map that guides every decision and action. It is an internal yes that echoes with clarity, directing you even in moments of uncertainty. Stephen Covey in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People teaches that beginning with the end in mind is crucial for aligning your life with what truly matters. When you have a greater purpose, faith becomes more than just belief. It transforms into determination. Imagine a boat sailing in the open sea. Purpose is the lighthouse in the distance, always visible, even amid waves and darkness. Without it, the boat drifts aimlessly. With it, every stroke of the oar has meaning. Finally, the third pillar is character development. Virtues like integrity, honesty, compassion, and courage are not just desirable qualities, they are the foundation that sustains your faith during difficult times. When circumstances become challenging, it is your character that determines whether you remain steadfast or give up. Brené Brown, in The Gifts of Imperfection, emphasizes that the courage to be authentic, even in vulnerable situations, is what helps us face challenges with dignity and strength. Developing these virtues is like forging a sword. The challenges and adversities are the strikes that make it stronger. Think of character as the bricks of a castle. Each virtue is an essential piece that contributes to the strength and durability of the structure. When character is strong, it sustains your faith even in the darkest moments. Connection with your values, defining your purpose, and building character. These are the three pillars that make faith resilient, allowing it to withstand any storm. They not only strengthen your faith, but also provide direction, meaning, and consistency to every step of your journey. In the next topic, we will explore how to apply these pillars in daily life, transforming faith into practical and consistent action. Now that we have built the pillars of unshakable faith, it's time to bring it into our daily lives. Faith is not just something we feel, it's something we do. Cultivating faith in everyday life means transforming small actions into powerful habits that strengthen our beliefs and connect us to our purpose. Now let's explore 3 practical tools that help nurture faith: visualization, positive affirmations, and an optimistic mindset. Visualization is like a mental rehearsal for success. It's the practice of imagining your goals as if they have already been accomplished. When you visualize clearly and consistently, you are training your mind to believe that what you want is possible. It's like preparing the soil before planting a seed. Joseph Murphy, in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, teaches that the subconscious mind responds to the mental images we feed it. Visualization is not just daydreaming, it's creating a mental roadmap for achieving your goals. Imagine you want to run a marathon. Picture yourself crossing the finish line, feeling the exhilaration of victory, hearing the applause. This practice reinforces your faith in your ability to reach that goal. To start, dedicate a few minutes in the morning or before bed to visualize your goal in rich detail. Imagine not only the result, but also the steps that led you there. This creates a sense of reality that motivates and directs your actions. If visualization is the movie you project in your mind, positive affirmations are the script. Affirmations are short, powerful statements that reprogram your subconscious mind to believe in your potential. They reinforce faith in yourself, in others, and in the future. Think of words as seeds. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I am capable, I am resilient, I will overcome this," you are planting seeds of confidence that will grow over time. Carol Dweck, in Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, highlights that the way we talk to ourselves directly impacts our belief in growth and learning. To practice, choose affirmations that align with your values and goals. Say them out loud or write them down. For example, "I have what it takes to achieve my dreams," or "I trust the process and the timing of my journey." The final piece of the puzzle is a positive mental attitude. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine, but rather adopting a mindset of practical optimism, focusing on solutions instead of obstacles. Deepak Chopra, in Science and Spirituality, explains that a positive mindset not only improves our life experience, but also connects us to a field of infinite possibilities. When you face challenges with faith and optimism, you are more likely to find solutions and act with clarity. A practical way to cultivate this attitude is by replacing negative thoughts with constructive questions. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" or "How can I overcome this in the best possible way?" Cultivating faith in daily life is not a one-time event. It's a continuous practice that involves visualizing, affirming, and adopting a positive outlook. It's like watering a plant, small daily actions that when combined yield significant results. In the next topic, we will explore how to transform this cultivated faith into practical action, because faith without movement is just intention. Now that we've learned how to cultivate faith in daily life, we arrive at the crucial point. Faith only makes sense when put into motion. Without action, faith is like a car with the engine turned off. It has the potential to move forward, but remains in the same place. Now, let's explore how to turn this internal force into constant movement through action, persistence, and discipline. The statement may sound blunt, but it's true. Faith without action is dead. Belief alone does not change reality. It only gives us the confidence to act. Think of a farmer. He may have complete faith that the land will yield a good harvest, but that only happens if he plows the soil, plants the seeds, and tends to the crops daily. This idea is reinforced in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, where he highlights that the mind works best when aligned with consistent effort. Having faith does not mean passively waiting for things to happen. It means being willing to act and persist, even when results are not immediate. One of the most effective ways to transform faith into movement is to set clear goals aligned with your values. Stephen Covey in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People teaches that challenging but realistic goals are essential to directing our energy and belief. Start by defining what you want to achieve. Be specific. Instead of saying, "I want to be healthier," say, "I want to run 5 kilometers 3 times a week." Then create a detailed action plan, list the necessary steps, and break them down into small daily tasks. This gives your faith a structure to operate within. Imagine your goals as a treasure map. Faith is the compass that points the way, but it's the steps you take that bring you to the destination. But what should you do when motivation fades? The answer is discipline. Discipline is the commitment to doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up halfway. Brené Brown, in The Gifts of Imperfection, emphasizes the importance of dedicating ourselves consistently to what truly matters, even when we face doubts or exhaustion. Think of an athlete who trains every day, not because they are always motivated, but because they know consistency is the key to success. A practical trick: create a routine. Set fixed times to work on your goals, treat them as non-negotiable commitments, and celebrate small victories along the way. Faith only becomes real when it transforms into action. It gives us the courage to set goals, the persistence to push through challenges, and the discipline to keep going when the path gets tough. This constant movement is what turns our beliefs into concrete results. In the next topic, we will explore how to overcome the inevitable obstacles that arise along the way, turning difficulties into opportunities for growth. If there is one certainty in life, it's that obstacles will arise. No matter how much faith we have, challenges are inevitable. But here's the secret: it is precisely in these moments that true faith is strengthened. Now let's explore how to face difficulties with resilience, focus, and courage, turning failures into lessons and imperfections into strength. Resilience is the ability to rise again, even when life knocks us down. Perseverance is the commitment to keep walking, even when the road seems endless. Together, these qualities are essential for overcoming obstacles. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, showed that the most resilient people were those who found meaning, even in the midst of suffering. When we face failure, faith helps us see beyond the present moment, recognizing the lesson and the opportunity to start again. Imagine a bridge collapsing as you cross it. Resilience is rebuilding another bridge from the wreckage, while perseverance is continuing your journey. Remember, every step forward is a victory, no matter how small. In difficult moments, it's easy to get lost, worrying about things beyond our control. This is where the concept of the circle of influence comes in. Focus on what you can do, not on what is out of your reach. Stephen Covey, in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, explains that by investing our energy in what we can control, our actions, reactions, and decisions, we expand our influence and reduce our sense of helplessness. Imagine you're sailing through a storm. There's no point in trying to control the wind. Instead, focus on adjusting the sails and keeping the rudder steady. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to move forward, even if it's just a small step? Lastly, we need to talk about imperfection. Many times, we pressure ourselves to have perfect faith, to never make mistakes or experience doubt, but this is unrealistic. The journey of faith includes missteps, vulnerability, and moments of uncertainty. Brené Brown, in The Gifts of Imperfection, emphasizes that allowing ourselves to be vulnerable is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. Acknowledging our imperfections helps us grow, learn from our mistakes, and connect with others more authentically. Think of a ceramic vase that breaks and is repaired with gold, a Japanese technique called kintsugi. The cracks are not hidden, they become part of the object's beauty. Faith works the same way. It strengthens and becomes even more beautiful through each imperfection we overcome. Overcoming obstacles is an essential part of the faith journey. Resilience helps us rise, focus keeps us on course, and courage allows us to remain human in the face of adversity. It's not about avoiding challenges, but about facing them with the certainty that every battle won makes us stronger. In the next topic, we will explore how connecting with others can strengthen our faith and help us move forward, even in the most challenging times. So far, we've discussed how to cultivate faith within ourselves and take action to make it a living force. But there's an essential aspect we sometimes overlook. Faith also grows when we connect with others. Human interaction is one of the greatest fuels for strengthening faith. Now, let's explore how community, empathy, and serving others can help us expand this force. Have you ever noticed how much stronger we feel when we are surrounded by people who share our values? Community is a powerful source of faith. Being among those who understand, inspire, and support us can make all the difference during moments of doubt or difficulty. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, highlighted that even in the most hostile environments, such as concentration camps, human connections were vital for survival. When we unite with people who share our vision of life, we create a support network that strengthens us. Imagine faith as a bonfire. Being part of a community is like adding more wood to the flame. It troves, warms, and illuminates everyone around it. That's why it's important to seek communities, physical or virtual, where you can exchange ideas, support, and inspiration. Connecting with others goes beyond simply being around them. Empathetic communication is key to building relationships based on trust and understanding. And when we trust others, we strengthen not only our faith in people, but also faith in ourselves and the world. Stephen Covey, in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, teaches that we should seek to understand before seeking to be understood. By genuinely listening to others and trying to see the world through their perspective, we create a space of trust and mutual respect. Think of a dialogue as a bridge between two shores. Without empathy, the bridge remains fragile, unable to hold weight. With empathy, the bridge becomes solid, allowing a true connection. Lastly, serving others not only strengthens our faith, but also gives deeper meaning to our lives. When we dedicate time and energy to helping others, we reaffirm our belief in human kindness and the positive impact we can have on the world. Brené Brown, in The Gifts of Imperfection, explains that acts of service are among the greatest acts of vulnerability and courage because they genuinely connect us with the people around us. Think of a tree that bears fruit. It does not consume its own fruit. Instead, it nourishes others. But in doing so, the tree itself grows stronger and its roots deepen. Faith works the same way. When we help others, we grow spiritually. Faith is not something we cultivate alone. It flourishes through our interactions with others. Community supports us, empathy connects us, and service transforms us. When we live through these connections, we not only strengthen our own faith, but also inspire faith in those around us. In the next topic, we will explore how living with faith brings profound benefits, from achieving dreams to finding inner peace and happiness. Throughout this journey, we've explored how faith can be cultivated, applied, and strengthened. Now it's time to look at the fruits of this powerful force. What happens when we live a life guided by faith? The benefits go far beyond what we imagine, impacting our dreams, our inner peace, and even our happiness. Faith is the engine that drives us to pursue our goals and achieve our dreams. Without it, we give up at the first obstacle. With it, we have the courage to take steps forward, even when the path is uncertain. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, speaks about the importance of believing in a greater purpose to find strength in difficult moments. Faith gives us a clear vision of where we want to go and keeps us focused even when conditions are far from ideal. Think of a rocket. It uses most of its energy at the start of its launch, breaking free from gravity. Faith is that initial thrust, the force that helps us break past fear and doubt to reach something extraordinary. Beyond driving our dreams forward, faith is a source of inner peace. When we believe, we trust, and this trust reduces anxiety when facing life's uncertainties. Deepak Chopra, in Science and Spirituality, explains that faith connects us to something greater, helping us see difficulties as part of a bigger picture. This brings us serenity, allowing us to face challenges without being consumed by them. Imagine sailing through rough waters. Without faith, every wave seems like a threat. With faith, we trust that the boat will keep us afloat and that, eventually, the waters will calm. It's this trust that allows us to navigate life with greater ease. Finally, living with faith directly contributes to our mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. Studies show that people who believe in something greater, whether a purpose, an ideal, or a divine force, are more emotionally resilient and handle stress better. Brené Brown, in The Gifts of Imperfection, highlights that faith helps us embrace our imperfections and live more fully and connected. When we believe that our actions have meaning, we find joy even in the smallest things. Think of faith as a plant growing in a garden. It not only flourishes but also purifies the environment around it, bringing beauty and vitality. Likewise, faith radiates positivity, influencing every aspect of our lives. The benefits of a life with faith are profound and transformative. It drives us to achieve our dreams, gives us serenity to face challenges, and connects us to a happiness beyond the material world. In the next and final topic, we will explore how faith is an ongoing journey full of learning and renewal, because faith is not a destination, but a path we walk every day. We have reached the final topic in this discussion about faith, but faith itself never ends. It is not a destination to be reached, but a path to be walked, full of learning, change, and renewal. Now, let's explore how faith transforms into a continuous journey, guiding our lives through every phase and moment. Faith is not static, it grows and evolves with us. Think of faith as a plant that needs care to flourish. Sometimes it faces storms, other times it blooms with strength. Every experience we go through, every challenge we overcome, strengthens this inner connection. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, reminds us that it is through facing difficulties that we find purpose. The same applies to faith. It expands as we learn from experiences, adapting to the lessons that life teaches us. Ask yourself, what has my faith taught me so far? And how can I use it to grow even more? Part of keeping faith alive is recognizing that it requires flexibility. As we grow, our beliefs and goals change. And that's okay. Faith is not about rigidity, it is about resilience. Deepak Chopra, in Science and Spirituality, emphasizes the importance of embracing change as a natural part of the journey. Think of faith as a river flowing through different landscapes. It doesn't break when faced with obstacles. It finds a new path. Revisiting our goals and beliefs, adjusting them as we learn, is one of the most powerful ways to keep faith relevant and alive. Finally, faith needs to be nurtured by constant inspiration. Just as we recharge our bodies with food and rest, the soul also needs renewal. Seek stories that motivate you, connections that inspire you, and moments of reflection that recharge your inner strength. Brené Brown, in The Gifts of Imperfection, reminds us that allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and seeking inspiration from others helps us renew our perspectives and keep our hearts open. Imagine faith as a flame. To keep it burning, you need to feed it with new insights, experiences, sometimes even pauses for reflection. Faith is a process, a continuous journey that transforms us with every step. No matter where you are on this path, what truly matters is to keep moving forward. Adapting, growing, and seeking renewal are essential parts of this walk. And now, I want to ask you, what does faith mean to you? In what area of your life do you feel you can strengthen it? Think about everything we've discussed and reflect on how faith can guide your next steps. If this content resonated with you, leave a like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel to keep engaging in reflections and discussions like this one. And most importantly, comment below and share what faith represents in your life. I would love to hear your perspective and learn from you as well. Thank you for being with me on this journey. I hope this video has made a difference in your day and perhaps in your path ahead. Let's continue cultivating and living faith one step at a time. See you next time.